Hey everybody. So I had an interview with a former sex worker. I wanted everyone to see. I'm hoping YouTube doesn't ding it.
You're from originally?
I'm from Paterson, New Jersey.
Patterson. Tell me about your family growing up.
I grew up without my mom or dad. My dad was deported a little after birth, and my mom was such a heavy drug user. And out of prison. So I had a wonderful woman adopt me and my sister, and she made life as best as it could have been, despite of everything else that I've gone through.
How would you describe your childhood with the adopted mom?
My adopted mom, perfect. Always had food, always had a roof over my head. She was greatly into God, so she instilled that into us. Like I said, she made the best life that she could have made for us.
For you and your
My sisters.
sisters? Do you ever meet your biological parents?
I've never seen my dad, but I've had encounters with my biological mother.
What kind of kid were you in high school?
Very athletic, very quiet, but I had a temper. But yeah, I was very like the tomboy. Everybody saw me as either the soccer player or the basketball player, and that's how people would describe me. The short Spanish basketball player, but they didn't know what was happening despite of basketball. Basketball was my place of safe haven, I guess you can say.
What was going on behind the scenes?
Like I said, my biological mother was a heavy drug user, so during the times that she was using, she wasn't like really on top of who was near and who was around.
But were you someone else who raised you?
And again,
Were you raised by someone else?
yes, I was raised by my adopted mother,
Right.
but she had visitation
Oh, I
rights
see.
throughout that, yeah. So during the times that she was able to see us, she took advantage. Like she completely didn't even, like she wasn't on top of who was around us, who she left us with, and little things was happening here and there. Like that's when like the whole touching, and I was around 8, 9 years old at this time. Men touching me, telling me that this is things that my mother wanted to happen, feeding me.
Your adopted mom wasn't in the picture to protect you?
It's not that she wasn't in the picture to protect me. Like I said, she had visitation rights, so she had a right to take us
Over the weekend or something?
or throughout the week.
So what kind of stuff was going on?
Yeah, so while she was using and with her friends, there were other men around, so they started to like touch me, make me touch them. Later on, oral was introduced, I think around like 10. But like I said, she just wasn't on top of things that she should have been
What was your
as a
drug?
mom.
What was your mom's drug?
PCP, cocaine, pretty sure like Molly and all of that, like everything, pretty much.
Any one of those was good, right?
Yeah. Anything that would get her to where she needs to be.
And how did that affect you as you got older?
It definitely caused like a ripple effect in my life. Like I said, she got into a relationship when I was 13 or 11, I believe, with a female. Like all our lives, we know her to be with men, and she had 8 kids, all of us by men. So out of nowhere, she was with a woman, but that woman had an older son, and during those rotations, it was easy for him to like come on to me because his experience with my biological mother friends. while she was getting high. So being under the same roof and him being the aggressive person that he was able to lure me, groom me into, having sex with me. And I didn't say anything because I just felt like this is what happens when I'm with my biological mother. Like I said, from younger, this was happening, so I didn't think anything different was gonna come from.
It was becomes normalized.
Right. It was definitely normal for me at that time. And then I went to high school and security guard immediately. It's like people can see that I don't know. It feels like people can see that I'm an easy target, if you know what I mean. So it was easy for him to do what he did as well for 2 or 3 years.
While you were in high school,
hmm
you never said anything to anyone.
I said something to a teacher, but the first year or the first time that it happened, I told the teacher, and nothing happened. It wasn't until I told my best friend, and my best friend told an administrator. But that was 3 years later. I spoke up the first time, nothing happened, so I just felt like, here, again, normal, something that's supposed to happen. And then trickled down to going to college, me thinking that I can change what happens in my life going to college. And that wasn't the case. I met a guy, and he was a high blood rank member. And in the beginning, it was nice. He did the whole providing gifts. So, and that was something new to me. Like I was always a person giving, 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 giving. And I finally had somebody who I thought appreciated me, loved me. So it wasn't until maybe 7 months into our relationship, he was like, I think this can be bigger than us, like saying that we should get into like pornography, and make some money off of just us two. And me being the naive person that I was for it. But it turned out to be something that wasn't what was explained. It's to become, oh, my friends, or this girl really likes you. Can we try something with you too? This and the third, and then it came to his friends, and then it came on to something bigger. One of the first times that I was sold was maybe a year after dealing with him. I was sold to, I'm not gonna say any names for like safety reasons, but I was sold to a higher rank person, not in Bloods, but I would say more like mafia. And out of all the people that I was sold to, that was probably the best experience that I could have gotten out of that kind of experience, if you know. Like, there was no beatings, like they really was focused on appearance. Like you're the money maker, you are the person that essentially is bringing this money in. So they really held up to that. They didn't, like I said, they didn't beat us. They didn't do scare tactics. Like it wasn't anything like that. And yeah, they took money from us, but they always made sure that we were okay. They didn't treat us like dogs.
So you were his prostitute?
Yeah, pretty much, or I would say a high class escort at that time, because we had to come with a great appearance, and you had to dress a certain way, you had to look a certain way, you had to wear makeup, couldn't have any scars, any tattoos, things of that sort.
This was going on where?
After that, I was
Yeah,
still,
in what city?
this was happening in Ohio. Mhm. I was in Ohio for maybe 2 years, because I didn't want to be there, but it started to feel like something that I could do. It'd be okay with it. And I really wasn't okay with that. You know what I mean? Because it was the luxury life, I was like psychologically telling myself, I could do this, and I can do this for a living. And that's when I knew that this wasn't okay.
Do you feel like you were tricked, manipulated, coerced, anything into it?
Definitely. But what made me stay is definitely the money that we saw. But it wasn't until, like I said, 2 years later, I started to put up a fight. Not physically, but verbally, saying I don't even want to do this anymore. If you're saying that this is not against our will, let me go or whatever. And that turned out terribly, because they just ended up selling me to a lower end person. So after a while, I was also someone in Kentucky, and that was I would never go to Kentucky just based off of that experience, because they literally treated the colored ones like we were dogs. We literally were treated like
So
dogs.
the men that were kind of in control were Caucasian?
Yes.
But
And
what city in Kentucky? You're gonna say?
yeah.
Got it.
Especially if you put it on my face. Yeah.
But how does it feel to be sold like a?
Like a dog. I keep referring to it. I literally all my life have felt like a dog that's been trained for the line of that, being used sexually. But I'm trying to change that now.
How old are you now?
26. Mm-hmm.
Are you still doing it?
No.
Yeah.
I've been out. My son is 3, so 4.5 years. Yeah.
How did you finally get out?
Believe it or not, the FBI. I'm not gonna go into.
That's often how girls get out.
Yeah.
Type goes to prison.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're not gonna talk too much about that, but they found me, they helped me, helped me get on my feet. I was in a couple of safe houses. So,
How's your life changed since you went through that and got out?
it has definitely changed for the better. I have 2 beautiful sons, and I make sure I take care of them every day. Love them, give them everything that I was looking for as a young girl, and a mom. I just want to make sure that I'm nothing like what my mother was. So everything that I didn't like, I'm trying to change, but not put my problems onto my children, because they have nothing to do with the things that I've experienced before them. So I'm just trying to keep a great head on my shoulder, and provide for them. I'm in a good relationship. We are both together, and I'm trying to make sure that we stay together, because I believe that's important in young boys' lives.
Sure.
especially in the day and age that we're in now. That it's not really, it's heard of, but it's not something that people are looking forward. Everyone wants to co-parent and live their separate lives. But I want to be with one person, and my children know one person, and make it work.
Were drugs a part of your life in this is going?
Definitely. So during that time, you had to have things that was like a pain enhancer or a sex enhancer. So ecstasy, Percocets, oxycodone, heroin. I'm pretty much done it all besides PCP. Yeah, and crack. I haven't done crack and PCP. Everything else.
Did you were able to get away from those drugs?
It was hard. It was definitely hard. A couple times I had to do rehab, and a couple of times it was more of like from the heroin, I had to do like Xanax, but like 5, and then go to 4, then go to 3, then go to 2, then go to 1, then go to half. Because I couldn't just cold turkey myself off of that. So
Do you feel like the reason your life went in that direction was because of your mom?
I would say it definitely gave the ball the push and start. It definitely gave the ball the push and start. I don't know if this is just something that was bound to happen in my life, but it was definitely easier for the others to take advantage because of that. Because I felt like if it could happen with my mom, like the person that brought me into this world to love me, it could happen with anybody. And that was a terrible mindset to have, and I wish somebody, well, not a lot of people knew, a couple people knew, but I just wish those people said, like, that's not what you're here for. That's not the life that was made for you. Yeah, you worked out something, but now I'm hearing it because I'm in therapy. So that's what's changing everything is actually, being in therapy now.
Yeah, that's great. What is your mom's situation currently?
Biological?
Yeah.
I believe she's in rehab. I believe. I don't really talk to her. I don't really talk about her. Yeah, pretty much dismiss the whole situation. But my sibling still has a relationship. You know what I mean? Well, my 2 older ones. The other ones, the younger siblings, they feel the same way. Like we just didn't really matter or exist. Only the 2 oldest did. But hey, her loss. She's missing out on great kids and great grandkids. You know what I mean?
You had your life to live all over again. What would you have done differently?
Definitely appreciated my adopted mom. I should have definitely said, am I allowed to curse?
Sure.
Fuck her, She decided the life that she wanted. She didn't want to get that relationship from me. I shouldn't be forcing myself to get a relationship with her. Should have left that alone, but I was young, craving for a love that I thought I wanted. Nah, definitely good on that now.
You been in love before? Have you been in love before?
Yes, I would say I'm currently in love.
That's great. Do you have any examples of a loving relationship?
No.
When you were a kid?
No, my adopted mom was never married. She had a relationship, but that wasn't it was a long distance relationship, so we didn't get to see.
Your biological mom had 8 kids.
Yeah.
How many different fathers?
All of us, besides the twins.
Everyone has a different father.
Mm-hmm.
And Amber, what would you say is the most important lesson you learned in your life?
Love yourself. Love yourself. You love yourself, everything else will fall into place. You will lack insecurities that hinder you, from certain things or taking risks that you should be taking or shouldn't be taking. Honestly, just think loving yourself and trusting your own intuition and abilities is the main thing that makes you successful. You are your only you are your only obstacle, honestly. If you feel like you can't jump over this camera, it's because you think you can't jump over the camera. You know what I mean?
All right, Amber, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you.
I'm glad things are going better for you.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry. I was finishing that one up based off that house that had been rated in Ohio before, but I had a few forms I wanted to show you guys. This is to give you the full 360 of what you have to do in groups. And this is a form that we made for Lighthouse. Sometimes we would get clients outside of the group to participate in our service. So they were not with my agency, but because social work agencies work together. And it's really just student name, date of birth, social, informed consent and permission slip. Give my permission for my child to receive individual and small group intervention by the staff at Lighthouse Youth Services. So when we did the groups in school, we would have them sign this. I understand I have the right to refuse this service or withdraw my consent for service at any time. I understand the information obtained during the course service treatment is privileged and confidential, may not be released without my consent. So, you know, the right to treat and the ways to get signatures and consents if you're working with even adults. When you're done with the group, we would do a discharge form. So again, it's like name and discharge date. It's almost like another intervention showing that they have attended and participated, and again, getting signatures. So there's lots and lots of forms, but just making sure that you are covering yourself. Also, what a mental health group would look like. And this is one from a progress note. And a lot of times we would say you fill in your treatment plan goal and the therapeutic intervention provided, and then how the client responded to also any significant change, even if none was observed or reported, and then if you change their treatment plan based off of that. So again, more, you know, we talk about paperwork. This was when we taught groups at UC, but just what it would look like, the curriculum and things that you're going to try to run in a group. This here was a Drake research paper sex offender group. And then as you can see, lots of different details that we work with our clients on and are getting through with the group. Sample ideas for group therapy. So this is a group that ran 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So yeah, it's oftentimes 10 weeks. Group members will come to explore life challenges, practice skills, and receive support, increase coping abilities for mood disorders, anxiety, PTSD. So you also have to advertise for your group. Oh yeah, I'm trying to think of the Homer bio is what I have, that long assessment form. I probably do have that. Let's see here. I'm gonna close this because I'm actually almost done there. For a second, I thought you were referring to my original When I was in grad school, we had to make an assessment of a cartoon character, and I chose Garfield. I don't know where that paper is. But yeah, I can send out the Homer assessment. I know the easiest way is through announcements. And here's the announcements. Also, assessment and treatment planning. Let me see. Oh, no, it does let me attach. Okay, I was going to say, I don't think it lets me attach a file, but it does. And so when I upload from computer, I want to search Homer assessment, because that's what we called it at the Lighthouse. And probably is in Dropbox, actually. There it is. Training, DAF, diagnostic. There's even mental health exam and mental status exam, lethality assessment. So there's a few documents that would go with those, and that's how you would get folks into your caseload to begin with. So let's see if this is not too large. There, field can't be empty. Let's see. Treatment plan 2. See if that does it. Let me see, or I guess just let me know if you guys got that. I'll send it again if not. So yeah, then you, on top of that, this is where it shows the good hard work you put into it, but you build your own caseload and maybe a group you're running. Share and relate to others, develop a deeper connection, learn about themselves, and try new ways of being in relationships. Discuss meaning making and life purpose in the face of adversity. Develop a mindfulness practice to support growth and connection. They had a cost on there, and also insurances were accepted. So, okay, yes, the case analyzation. I wanted to give you guys a few more of these. This is one of the harder groups that you may lead in your life. It's a semi-group because it's couples counseling, and definitely something to be studied because it's hard to figure out. So the couple training faculty announces program introduction to an orientation to the Gestalt couple practice training program. Introductory session designed to introduce you to the Gestalt couple practice training program, provide samples of the Cleveland model and Gestalt, and all the people involved in that. So you could do in groups couples counseling, and there's a lot to be said about that. Also, the famous author on groups is Corey. So I always refer back to them. And I don't want to start you on initial stage, but Corey. This is probably where the person who wrote our book is citing this guy, Dr. Corey, and he has a lot of relatives that do work in group counseling, and you'll see them in a lot of the group trainings that we have. So here is an approach that Corey goes into. Beginning group leaders face a number of concerns when setting up and leading groups. Before you begin reading this chapter, ask yourself, what concerns do I have about leading the group, and what personal characteristics, skills, and specialized knowledge do I associate with effective group leadership? as you read the chapter, respond to these questions. What skills for leading a group do you already possess? So they want you to go internal and know what you already possess, skills you learn and need to acquire. What single personal characteristic do you have? Is your main asset for effectively leading groups? What single personal characteristic is most likely to impede your effectiveness? So knowing your strengths and weaknesses and going through that. I didn't realize I had copied the entire book, but that's kind of exciting. So the group process. Chapter 5. So that's all we have with Corey, but it's some of the stuff to know for when you're leading the group and things that you can use for that. And then ways that you advertise and celebrate your group. So that would be the last piece on here. This one is the way that they share what our students had done. Let's get this one out of here. So groups. There's also groups with veterans and some of the research on that, veteran to farmer programs, emerging nature-based programming trends. So groups to bring veterans into like learning a job when they get home from be it war or being overseas. Wanted to show you guys all the different possibilities for groups in general. And sustainability groups and taking the permaculture path on community resilience. So like leading a group inside of a community that allowed you to show that community resilience. So just giving you guys some other thoughts and ideas. We do have the nonviolent communication workbook that's also used in groups. So this is probably one of the favorite groups I've participated in. And if I can find a way to easily send those, I will, because those are huge resources to be able to email out if we can. Let's see here, share. Does it let me share it? And then call it a day, as I know we are on homecoming. There we go. Yeah, so I can email it to me. And I'll send it on to you guys. So hopefully you get a chance to enjoy your homecoming. We'll get you out 8 minutes early so you can do that. And then feel free to send any questions that you have. And see you guys Monday.